Imagine this happening overnight. Fortune turns in your favor, maybe. A small investment multiplies beyond logic. A side project suddenly becomes a money machine, or an unexpected inheritance lands in your hands, and it feels almost divine. Yet history warns that fortune favors bold action, but abandons those who are unprepared, because sudden wealth, like sudden authority, does not transform your character. It reveals it and magnifies every habit, weakness, and illusion you already carry. What feels like freedom is actually gravity pulling people into your orbit, hungry, curious, and entitled. And while you may think this is rare, statistics say otherwise. Many who encounter this message have already experienced winning trades, booming startups, or life-changing payouts, and more will inevitably follow. Yet the dark truth remains: those who stumble into wealth often lose it quickly, not because of bad luck, but because they confuse money with wisdom. Studies of instant millionaires reveal a brutal pattern: rapid rise, followed by rapid collapse, with broken families, addictions, isolation, and loss of peace, arriving long before the money disappears, because maintaining power is always harder than acquiring it, and wealth without discipline dissolves under pressure. Those who did not build the habits that create money cannot sustain the fortune that arrives without warning. So before celebrating, understand this: silence is your first defense. The world pushes you to display success, but exposure invites attack. Visibility creates enemies, and announcing wealth reveals vulnerability. The wisest move: quietly accumulating influence while appearing ordinary. Neighbors see simplicity, while power operates behind layers. This stealth approach has preserved dynasties and destroyed fewer lives, because attention attracts betrayal, as history repeatedly shows. From political rulers to modern jackpot winners, whose generosity turned into tragedy. Public celebration brought admiration briefly, and destruction permanently, proving that fortune must be concealed to survive. Because anonymity, in a world addicted to attention, is armor you may believe you can manage the spotlight, but human nature remains envious, and unstable comparison breeds resentment faster than greed, and even those closest to you begin measuring themselves against your rise. Which is why protection requires not only silence, but structure. Privacy is not just about who knows it, is about how your wealth is organized. Real power moves through systems, not faces, and the first professional you consult should be legal and financial architects who understand trusts, entities, and asset protection, because true wealth is never directly held, it is positioned behind layers that separate you from risk and scrutiny. Just as rulers once governed through intermediaries, modern wealth flows through structures that shield identity and responsibility. Discretion is strength, not fear, and history contrasts loud fortunes that collapse with quiet empires that endure for centuries. Remaining influential without spectacle. Momentum must be preserved, because idleness erodes discipline. Work keeps the mind sharp and ego grounded. The danger is not spending, but stagnation. So continue building, refining, and contributing, leaving only what drains autonomy, not as escape, but as command. Focused effort compounds power, and scattered attention weakens defense. Debt must be eliminated early, because high interest obligations silently destroy wealth faster than indulgence. Eliminating them guarantees peace and clarity, allowing you to think like a sovereign instead of a servant. Yet even with finances fortified, the greatest threat emerges from human emotion. Wealth awakens entitlement and expectation, especially among loved ones. Lending destroys relationships because it converts trust into obligation. Strategic generosity means gifting once without expectation and drawing firm boundaries. Kindness without control breeds resentment, while discipline without empathy corrodes balance. Is power History shows fortunes lost not to markets, but to uncontrolled giving where guilt replaces. Judgment and loyalty fades when money dries up, lasting wealth follows. An ancient rule never consume the core, only the yield capital must remain intact while income sustains. Life money is farmland, not firewood. Live from what it produces, not what it is calculate. Freedom, not luxury. Protect the base and allow returns. To fund peace and once stability is achieved, investing becomes governance, not gambling. Capital must be deployed across systems that endure. Growth assets for expansion, defensive assets for stability, tangible assets for grounding, speculative assets for optionality, and liquidity for opportunity. Diversification is survival. Empires fell when they relied on one source, and endured when systems balanced aggression with protection. The goal is not excitement, but longevity. Real wealth is time, autonomy, and calm, not noise or display. Indulgence should strengthen identity, not signal status, and the highest use of wealth is legacy. Investing in ideas, people, and systems that outlive you, because money at its peak becomes philosophy. Power, guided by wisdom, turns into permanence. So act decisively but invisibly. Build, protect, grow, and understand that the true crown is never worn. It is hidden, and those who master this do not announce their power, they live inside it.